It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining brightly. The birds were dancing in the sky and singing their songs. The flowers released their fragrances in the calm-winded air. The butterflies, the bees, and the hummingbird worked in cooperation as they promoted the future. "All is well," said Mr. Tuttle, as he took in his surroundings as deeply as the exhale of his breath. A smile couldn't help but erupt on his face. A joyous time, he thought. As he walked along his path that day, he came to a riverbank. A perplexing look washed over his face. He knew he had to cross a river to get to the other side, but there was a rock in the way. In his mind, he saw this big boulder, and he thought the only way to get across the river was to smash the rock, disintegrate it, destroy it. After all, the rock was the only thing standing in his way. He thought by destroying the rock he could proceed on his path. He sat at the side of the riverbank, with his full attention focused on the rock, and great determination on figuring out how to destroy the rock. He was so focused on the rock that he could no longer hear the birds sing or feel the perfumed air. He was just there by the riverbank, focused on the rock and how to destroy it so he could move forward on his path. As the sun slipped into darkness, his attention diverted from the rock to the river. He watched the flow of the river and its total disregard for the rock. As the moon replaced the sun, he watched how the river continued to flow day or night and how it continued to disregard the rock. He felt a shiver, and within that moment heard a whisper, "Flow like the river." He suddenly looked around, but there was no one there. The river continued to flow, irrespective of the rock. This time, Mr. Tuttle made the determination that he must destroy the rock now. So he lunged forward as if he were Superman and could break the rock with his superpower or X-ray vision. He found himself in the water screaming, "I'm drowning! Help me! Help me!" Then he heard another whisper, "Flow like the river." At this point, he had no other choice. There was no way to destroy the rock now. Besides, drowning seemed to be the priority now. So he asked, "Show me how to flow like the river." And the whisper said, "Just flow." So he did. He closed his eyes and allowed his mind and body to flow like the river. The rock was no longer a distraction. He came to a place where there were many rocks, and the thought of destroying them did not even enter his mind. Instead, he smiled as he walked across them, appreciating their existence. Such beautiful stepping stones, he thought out loud. He smiled again, continuing his path, listening to the birds practice their morning songs as the darkness gave way to the light.